Good. All right. So there's so many things has happening. But for today, for the 6 months review, I'm going to cover the following topics. One is the real large language model and what we call the AGI, artificial general intelligence. I think it's arrived, even though there are different opinions about what is AGI, what it can do. But based on the functionality we see with Grok 4, I believe we are actually at this tipping point. The real AGI is coming. If it's not now, if people still feel it's not fully there by end of this year, it will become so clear. The second part is the open source large language model is also catching up, even though they're still behind the closed source large language model. And I will show what I meant by that. And we also have a video generation. Now, not only generate video, it also give you voice. And I'll show example. And you can also play with VO3. Agents become much bigger. In the beginning of this year, we said that the 2025 will be the year of agents, and which becomes true. And my whole job right now, I think many people, many of you also, is just building agents. That's every company is doing. That's the only remaining part for a software company. For hardware company, then that's robotics. And so there are, I think, the booming industry of robotics right now. Then finally, application, I will talk a little bit about. So just to give you some context on um, how much we have come just in the last 6 months. At the end of 2024, here the data set people are evaluating against MMLU, which is a college level exam, grade school mathematics, coding, Python coding problems, curated coding, common sense reasoning, and some college level multimodal. So this is the data set all the large language model is evaluated against. Now, what the last 6 months has shown us, all those data set becomes like too simple, too easy. Now we moved into PhD level questions, Olympia level. At the end, the last one is mathematical Olympia competition. Coding is also way more challenging. Now it's a live code bench with real competitive programming task. So the level of competence of the large language model now surpass PhD human. That's one. Secondly, there's one more I didn't show is the humanities last exam, which is very, very hard question, problems, but we are also reaching in the beginning only like they achieved 5%. I think the best one was 5%. Now Grok 4 reached more than 40% accuracy. So this is the progress we are seeing. So just to go back to the 2020 end of 2024, we see some very excellent performance, and we were very happy. We were celebrating, but now comparing to this is still 2024. This is up until '01 OpenAI '01 was the reasoning model which created a lot of sensation. And by doing reasoning, you reached 92, 64 in chemistry. So this is the '01 performance. And now in February, this is just up to this year, Grok 3 came out with their reasoning model. So in the GPQA which is the this PhD level, they reached 85%. That's Grok 3 back in February, and you can see the math. This AIME 24 and live coding. Live coding is still 80%. And when Grok 3 came out, the number one thing is they become they crossed the 1400 in chatbot arena scores. Chatbot arena is a anonymous basically comparison. People give the score to a program, which one is better. So you accumulated that kind of comparison score over time. So it's very objective. So people like to use that as a real evaluation on the intelligence, on the conversational fluency and other index. So Grok 3 become number one. And if now you look at it, after Grok 3, we have Gemini 2.5, we have GPT 4.5. They all now become better than Grok 3. And most recently is Grok 4. So now the Grok 3 also evaluated on AIME 25. AIME is the mathematical exam on 2025 data. And they did better. So uh, so I'm going to skip the release of Gemini and first is Google OpenAI 4.5, and then most recently is Gemini 2.5 Pro. Both create a lot of sensation. And now Grok 4 achieved 100% with Grok 4 Heavy. So what is a Grok 4 Heavy is they use multi-agent, multiple Grok 4 reasoning together, and then they have a meeting. They basically reason together, decide what is the best answer. So with that, they achieved 100%. Essentially, they don't make mistake. And so this is a dramatic improvement. With the PhD level exam, human, well, I mentioned there's somewhere I showed the human is less than 70% accurate in those PhD exam and only for each subject. And what Grok 4 achieved is across the subject. And in PhD level, they got close to 19%, 89% with Grok 4 Heavy. So each of this is above human performance. Just bear in mind, all of this is above human performance. The Grok 4 has so there's a Grok 4 without the tool, and so this is no tool. Even without the tool, it's 87.5%. And then they can use tool, and then they can use multiple agent, multiple Groks. The live coding, we reached close to 80%. Is also a big jump over O3. O3 is the best up until April. Is the best reasoning model, has I think the best performance for different benchmark, because they do reasoning. They yeah, and sorry, in April, up until April. Then the Gemini 2.5, I think it's June. They announced in June. This is 74. So you can see the competition. You can see the field keeps moving, keeps improving, and this kind of improvement will continue. The Before we thought there might be some upper limit. Now we think because they're adding tools, they're adding GPUs. So first of all, Grok 3 was trained on 100,000 GPUs. Grok 4 was trained on 200,000 GPUs. Now the Open XAI is building a 1 million GPU data center. So, and with that kind of capacity, so the training is not only on uh, real data, then synthetic data, then use reinforcement learning, then use multi-agent reasoning. After that, using all the tools available. By tool, they mean they are not just reason. They may use some package where like they generate like a package of Mathematica, MATLAB, those kind of packages, people pre-written, people can do calculations, so they can do much faster. If they can use all the tools out there, particularly with MCP, imagine how powerful this large language model is. So once they become being able to use tool is no longer the traditional large language model as we know. It's essentially it's an agent. It's a general agent, which is very scary, meaning they are way more powerful. They are not just a chatbot. They know all the tools out there. They can call the tool. They can use it. They can take action. So as you can see, even Grok 4 now is creating a task, right? On XAI on Grok, you can ask them to schedule a task, and every day they can do something, send you email or do something. And this is just the beginning. They can do way more sophisticated task if they combine different tools. So this is what we are seeing now. And two more benchmark. One is this Harvard MIT mathematical test, also in math. And so the Grok 4 did very well. This is USA Math Olympiad, also mathematics, but this is much harder. So they are still achieved way better than O3. O3 is only 21%. Gemini 2.4, 2.5 Pro is better, 34. So um, basically, no matter how hard the problem is, like including the so-called humanities last exam, there is a way for the language model somehow to crack that problem, meaning they're approaching human intelligence. They are succeed even surpassing human intelligence. That is really what is happening, and what is kind of scary. Even Elon Musk himself, I think, used 3 times use the word terrified. The AI, essentially AI will be able to teach itself to like reinforcement learning. They don't even need the new data anymore, so they can keep learning by itself. That happened with AlphaGo before. Now with this large language model, I think that kind of self-training, self-learning will also speed up. And so another prediction is very soon. I think Elon Musk predict by early next year, around the later this year or early next year, the Grok 4 or any the advanced AI will be able to discover new physics, meaning new physical law, right? We now know the basic astrophysics law, but if they are able to reason, if they are able to look at the different data, look at all different um, like in the cosmos, anything astrophysics, anything that humans still struggle to discover, they may be able to come up with something that we have never seen before. So scientific discovery, I think, is coming beyond just doing those benchmark. All right. So that basically is the status with all the real large language model, or what we call the big, very big large language. It's already large, but it's those are terabytes of data. At least we know original GPT-4 is 1.4 trillion. And I believe Grok 4 may be way larger, probably 2 trillion, we don't know, but it's way larger. So this is a very, very large model trained on many huge amount of data. Now, the second trend I want to talk about is the open source trend. You remember the last year, the open source model Llama 3. Llama 2, Llama 3, Llama 3.1 until 3.3, they are all below 70 billion. That's the maximum. So the goal for open source model is to be small, but gradually improve the accuracy. However, early this year, DeepSeek R1 came out in January. They just have this because they know there's a law of scale. If you don't reach a certain size, you can never become so intelligent. This is just a matter of I think been proven so far, and we haven't seen any violation of this law. Is the larger you are, the more intelligent the language model is. So the DeepSeek R1 decided to push for this number. They basically have a 671 billion, huge amount for open source model. But the performance is very good. If you the reason they is sensational is they match the closed source OpenAI O1 model. O1 model is probably slightly larger than DeepSeek. So in terms of the mathematics AI ME24 code force, almost matching, right, one by one. A little lower in the PhD exam. So one is 75, one is 71. Um, for the others, almost identical. So that is why there's a lot of news about the DeepSeek R1. And in this meetup, we had a talk, we had a meeting, we had a meetup about DeepSeek R1 and the video. If you missed that one, you can find the video on YouTube in our channel. So that is DeepSeek R1. Then because it's a very sensational, Meta decided to increase their size from 70 billion. Now they have three. Llama 4 has three models, all very big. The smallest is 100 billion. The largest is 2 trillion. And they made it open source. They made it's when we say open source, there's different kind of levels. What Llama model, what Meta did is make the trained parameter available to the public, so you can just use them. The idea is you can use that to distill to a smaller model to use for your purpose. But they give you the parameter. The second level of open source is they give you their training data, and many companies didn't do that. But there are certain companies released their training, like I believe DeepSeek released their training data, so you can use their training data. And the third level is they release their code, so you can see the original source code. I believe DeepSeek also released their code. Many companies didn't do that. So this is different level of open source. The problem with both DeepSeek R1 and Llama 4 is because they're so expensive. Hosting GPU itself is very expensive. Even like I learned yesterday on Google Cloud, GCP, if you want to rent a H100, two-core H100 for 1 year, it will cost you $70,000. That's just one GPU. If you want to get 8 core for the H100, you have to spend $300,000 and just to rent 1 year, and you have to return that machine. So it's very, very expensive to each H100 is about 80 gigabytes, 80 gig RAM. So if you have 100 billion parameters, normally it takes, if you don't do quantization, it takes 4 times of this number of parameter. That's 400 gigabytes of memory you would require. So for H100, 80 gig, that's 5 H100 machines just to host the model itself. Nowadays, people do quantization, so they create 8-bit 8-bit representation or 4-bit, so may reduce to 1/4 size as before. That saves memory, but certainly your precision accuracy may be impacted. So those are the trade-off. The real issue is it's very expensive to host a model, more than I think even for 80 or 70 billion model, it's very expensive. So yeah, unless you have a huge amount of constant traffic to use it, right? So it doesn't justify using such large models. However, there are certain use case, maybe they really need this highly accurate, highly intelligent model and spend money to host that. So that's and there is a advantage to have a large model. So here's what I want to show. For the Llama 4 behemoth, the largest Llama 4, the 2 trillion parameter, you can see it surpassed GPT 4.5. Even though it's open source, because it has a larger parameter, open source just means they made this available to the public. But as you can see, when it reaches a 2 trillion model, it is performing better. There's no way around it. If you want better performance, you have to go with this size. And that's why they do release this model to the public too. Okay, so then there is another, what we are still happy to see is Google released a little before Llama, I think just 1 week. Yeah, 1 week before Llama 4. They released Llama 3, which continue the old trend with the smaller model that can run on a device, on your laptop, make it very friendly to the public. And if you are looking for a small and also another good thing is it's a multi-model. It has a vision understanding, yeah, image understanding. So not just text, it can process image. So this Llama 3 has a 1 billion, 2 billion, 2 billion, 27 billion. I want to show you very interesting. Oh, actually, sorry, 1 billion, 4 billion, 2 billion. The 27 billion Llama 3 is not bad on the PhD exam, achieved 42.4%. And it's a very small model, tiny comparing to the 2 trillion model or the 100 billion model. It's tiny, right? 27 billion. And also its performance in the other data set on the college exam, on the math exam, it is close to the old Llama 3.3 70 billion model. So if you are trying to decide for your company which in-house model you would use, if you really want a high accuracy but not spending too much money, sometimes people settle for 70 billion model. If you are okay with a little compromise, I think this 27 billion Llama 3 is an excellent choice. Yeah, that is it's way smaller and cheaper. However, there are still a little bit accuracy gap. So this one is not too big. It's about 2 points. But for this one, for the math, it's about 10%, 10 percentage points. All right, so that's the open source model. And now I want to, the most interesting part for the video, I mean, the last 2 years, we see exciting image generation and video generation with Sora. Sora, now you can create a 20-second video. Still very short because the computing, right? Very expensive to calculate. And this video is I generated myself with VO3. If you have a subscription for Gemini, I pay them, I think it's $20. They offer you some discount for the first 2 months. And you can, oh, did I pay the, I may pay the $200, the highest. Anyway, so they ask you to pay more. So, but let me just. So basically, I gave a very simple prompt. I said the text prompt say generate a squirrel and owl in the animation and make them talk to each other. That's a very simple. So here's the video. I don't know if you can hear.
Believe what I saw today. Oh, really? What was it?
By the way, can people hear? Can people hear the sound?
Yes, Yuling.
Yes.
Let me just finish.
Oh, good. That's great. let me play
You
again.
won't believe what I saw today. Oh, really? What was it?
So you can see not only they speak, they have the mouth movement, the sound, the reaction, the speech all come together with the character. And there are many demos on VO3 website. You can and the people also use they stitch together the video, make it into a commercial, a very good commercial. I have to download and I should yeah, that one is being shown. Excellent video. It's like a real commercial made and with humans because a character with animals it's easier, but with humans it's harder. And they did flawlessly with no mistake.
You won't.
Okay, so now after the video, the only disadvantage is the video now owning they can only do 8 seconds. I believe by end of this year, hopefully will be longer. We'll talk about that later for the future direction. So one more thing I want another topic is the agent. So we talk about this year is the year of agent. And I quickly listed those bullets. I think we can go much deeper in each. We had a meetup on agent just a couple months ago, where I drill down deeper into the agents. But what I want to say is, people predict 2025 is the year of agent. Any software company has to make their code available, make their process available through. So now it's MCP. Basically, it's kind of a agentic API. It's basically everything you available to the public. You use the MCP protocol to for the agent to consume to know what's available on your website, and they can just write a code to call that action. So that's MCP. MCP become very standard. Now Stripe, PayPal, and many other companies, they all use they all release to the public the MCP. People can call to generate the payment to, and other company you can inquire about the inventory or other things. So MCP is I think now dominates. It's invented by designed by Anthropic. And many other companies try to follow to create their own protocol, but not that widely adopted. So whoever first in the market and also get made it easy available become the major player. Agentic RAG is also very interesting. So up until end of 2024, RAG was the dominating application for large language model, where you combine the documents with truthful knowledge for the human to get something out of the content, right? It's not just the large language model by itself. You have a local corporate documents, you have books, you have other thing information you can give to the user. The agentic RAG is not only we have internal documents, I can also take action as agentic in the sense, what we mean by agent is a intelligent program that can take action. Nowadays, agent also means it not only take action, it can make a conversation with the human, take the command, take what a human ask for, execute on that, and bring back the result. That's agent. And typical agent is so-called LLM based agent. They're all based on large language model. So the way they generate a conversation is based on the large language model. The way they take action is also called by the large language model. So somehow magically, it's almost like magic, where you say something, the large language model figure out what you are trying to do. For example, if you ask what is the temperature today, so they know you are asking about they should go to a weather website to look for this temperature for you. The so they corresponding to they make a correspondence between the words and the action they're supposed to do, right? So that kind of correspondence is in the beginning is really like I think almost like magic by itself because a human can say things in many different ways, but the large language model is able to interpret uh, on the user intention. I think this problem, because I worked on natural language processing for many years, we know it's a very hard problem. In the field of NLP, people designed many intent classifier, entity extraction. We did many tricks, but still the accuracy was not there. It's always less than like 85% to accurate. So the large language model, because of its knowledge of the language pattern and the knowledge of the world, it's able to do reasoning. It's magically the problem now solved. Whatever user says, we can pretty very accurately identify what the user wants to do. So only until you code, you actually write out the action calling agent, you will realize how powerful the large language model is. So that's agentic RAG. The coding agent, we know recent news, Windsurf was sold. If you download, I downloaded Windsurf. Very interesting. So it's a IDE, it's a developer environment IDE, right? It has basically for on the left you have the files, the code. On the right, you have the execution environment. And then they have this co-pilot interface where you can enter a sentence. You can ask the program to do something. So I just enter a simple sentence, say, generate a game of a snake, because I know they can do that. And they just chunk out all the code one by one, front end, back end code, and then execute that code. And then there is a snake game. Actually, it's a game. It's a grid world game. They try to there's a kind of snake moving around, and so the all and that's animated. So after the code was written, the animation then started to execute. You can see the game by itself. So this kind of coding agent now becomes a cursor. There are many other variations. This is um, this has become many startups, actually several startups was working on that. It becomes now a reality. This becomes a real agent. It's not like before when we talk about agent, it's not real, right? So this one is really become they can generate end-to-end code for you. And not to say there are many co-pilot coding agent that I don't even mention. So, and many company, there are several startups started to translate the old language, like what is the SIBO, in the old operating environment, they have some old programming language that nobody touch, but they want to convert them into Python. But very few programmer can do that, so they want to write an agent to do the translation. Then those are real startups that people pay money for. Then we'll also talk about agent become practical in the sense that you can really create a travel agent that knows your preference, go out to the internet. Basically, they can do a sequence of action on behalf of you. They can even buy ticket for you, make a reservation for you, and also figure out uh, the based on your preference, they just go off to do things, right? So that's a practical agent we talk about. Another practical type is they just can go to any browser. If the browser says click here, click there, they can do clicks for you. They can fill out the form for you. And so there is a agent called I think it's called Manus. They can do like 60 action, chain action. The going out to this side. If this side doesn't, they go to the next side. They do continue to do research. So and because they can interact with the browser, now they can also interact with your computer, your operating system. They can do many things. So that is the power of agent become real in this past 6 months. The last part is now we have agent. How do we train agent? So far, agent is all prompt engineering combined with the LM underneath. LM itself can be fine-tuned, can be trained. So the new research and the new direction, um, which is very interesting, is now we can use reinforcement learning to train the agent to think through whether the action makes sense. Not only we train them to take the best action, which is simple. As I mentioned, the LMA is pretty good. If you ask for something, they give you action, but they cannot give you action down the road 10 steps away. Or they can give you, if you put a reasoning prompt, they can continue to reason and take action one after another. But what we worried is after a few steps, the last action may be totally wrong, not what we intended. Maybe their reasoning go off to go somewhere not in the right direction. So we want to train the actual agent in the long horizon. So the new research topic is how do we train a long horizon agent where they do either do deep research, they do um, uh, travel research, something there they do multiple steps, right? So that paper actually was I believe it's from Apple, from not necessarily Apple, sorry, I take it back. If you search for the keyword app world, they use app world to simulate as a sandbox to test out this long horizon agents. So yeah, so that's the agent training. I think very soon, because if we see the trend with machine learning is everything will be automated. Even machine learning process is automated. We have machine learning agents now become practical. They can take the data, build a machine learning model, fine tune their own model, and then uh, just become. You can actually have an AI machine learning researcher, right? Oh, one more thing I didn't mention is we now have real AI researchers that write a research paper, scientific research paper and makes sense. It's not just like patching things together. They actually do real research. So, in fact, I think early next year or later this year, there's a conference where they require every submission. The first author is AI, it's not a human. They require, so they want to see the original research done by AI. But what a human does is just execute or do some editing next, but the original paper, the original idea, the proposal, the experimental design, the majority of the part is done by the AI, and the human is just a facilitator. So that is upcoming in a conference. The so which means AI being a researcher, uh, it's a reality. It's because it's intelligence, right? We know if it's already have a PhD level reasoning and the knowledge, and also in across the field, not just one field, they can of course do research better than any PhD research, human researcher. That's just the natural result. And yeah, so that's coming. That's why I say we are actually reaching the point of AGI. The finally, I want to mention is oh uh okay, just two more slides. The robotics. So we know Optimus, Elon Musk trying to originally planned with more. They will produce, say, 1,000 robots. I'm not sure they will achieve that. We will see. But the video showing that the Optimus is even better than before. They can do multiple tasks, household tasks. They can do the cleaning, they can do cooking, different kind of action. It's still very primitive. So I think we cross the threshold where the robot is very agile in terms of walking, running. Now it's we want their hand. The robot's hand can do very versatile, different kind of task. So their legs now is very good. So now it's the hand and arm. Once they finish that, and also Optimus is also connected to Grok, so it has a conversation, it can talk to human. And Google DeepMind released I think it's a software where any robotic company can use. It uses Gemini 2.0 as a vision language model where this model, if you put on your robot, it's able to see, hear, talk, and reason, and also take action, the movement. So it's a general large language model that has multiple capabilities. And then in June they released this so-called on-device Gemini. On-device is the smaller version where you have two arms doing task, right? It's called a table robot, where it doesn't have a lower body, it just has two arms that typically for manufacturing company, the factories, this is very useful. NVIDIA is also leading in the robotics. They have a physical simulation engine. I believe they're also building actual physical robot. There are many robotic startups. Now is this year, next year, I believe is the booming industry. Robotics is a booming industry. It's the next frontier. Well, because the reason the intellectual the brain, the software side is already been done. Now the remaining part, the intelligence, is the body. Yeah, so I think that's the frontier. And certainly I talk about application. This trend continues. Because of AlphaFold, the Alpha genome, many new drugs will be designed much faster. New materials will be invented. Computer games will be designed by robots or by large language model. The marketing, before people spend millions, sometimes millions of dollars just to shoot 1 minute commercial, right? That's why the marketing budget was so large. But now you can just use VO3 or other video generation model, generate perfect marketing video with character, with the conversation, and you don't even have to write a script. You just instruct um, Veo to say, or Gemini 2.5. You say create this marketing video. So you can see there's a whole the change in the marketing side. The automation will come. And I mentioned a scientific paper, so I want to talk about again. Now, what is coming in the next half year? So, given the fast movement, almost every day there's some breakthrough. We also see the three big company now. Basically, I would say there are only three leading companies: OpenAI, Google, and xAI. They kind of in lockstep. When one did something, the other follows with a better performance. So early this year's Grok 3. After that, it's GPT 4.5. After that, Gemini 2.5. So now it's Grok 4. I believe after that will be some GPT model. After that will be another Gemini model. That's just the competition. They're forced to become better and better. The video generation, I hope, will extend to 1 minute. Even Sora is still only 20 seconds. Kind of a little frustrating, disappointing. However, certainly it's very expensive to compute, right? So unless people are willing to pay more money for that, there could be a good business model for this too. The agents, what I see is every company now call them AI company. Every company try to, yeah, yeah. In fact, yeah. So all the company I'm with now and before, they all started to call them AI company now. So that is every company is pushing for AI implementation for every step, every task. And that's called agent. So you have onboarding, people register, you have onboarding agent, people purchase, you have a transaction agent. When people have a problem, you have a customer support agent. So you have all these AI agent that completing the task. And finally, the last trend in robotics, I think robotaxi expansion is probably will be done by end of September. We will see very very wide expansion, and the humanoid robot certainly is the big thing this year, and the next year probably will dominate the major or the I think AI news. That's just my prediction. Okay, that's so now we can let me first stop sharing and I will